Detecting Taco of the Day, May the 6th, 2025. My best friend, if you can believe that, is 92 years old today, boys and girls. It happens to be my mother-in-law. How about that shit? You know, she used to go with me and haul deer out that I would kill. But she can't do it anymore, bless her heart. She's hanging in there, boys and girls. Okay, I'm going to show the mighty Deus 2 with the 11 by 13 inch coil this morning, okay? Now, I'm going to give you what I recommend should you choose to use what I'm going to show. Sensitive program. And I've made a sensitive program, okay? So the sensitive program I'm going to show, I'll show it in some detail on how I have the tone set up, which does drive the disc. And then I'm going to show you that, and that will be silencer 2, by the way, because that drives the idea of iron. Your silencer on the Deus 2 drives the idea of iron in the meter. The sensitive program I'm going to show, though, that I've not altered except maybe changing the silencer to 1. So the sensitive program at a silencer of 1 would typically be a slightly better unmasking iron versus a silencer of 2. But there is an advantage to what I'm going to show you. Now, I've looked at this with a 9 and 11 inch coil, but I don't take anything for granted, boys. Some people may be buying this big old coil here. And they may be hunting larger areas like sports fields. Is what I'm going to show you a good way to run this detector in a sports field? You'll have to make up your own mind. If the sharpshooter went to a sports field, what I'm going to show you in this video is exactly how I would run the machine to increase your laws of averages for getting over a non-ferrous target. Okay? So what I'm going to show in this video is a gold ring. You see it there, not very big, 10 carat, sturdy silver ring. That nail will be slightly elevated above that ring. And 2 sections of wire that are unequal lengths. Wire can exist in sports fields, and so can nails. And probably some other ferrous too, okay? But to get the benefit out of what I'm going to show you, though, comparing it to a traditionally set up Deus 2, the iron would have to be, ferrous material would have to be elongated. Okay? Now, will you see performance in the ground, what I'm going to show here elevated? I've not checked the 11 by 13 inch coil. I have looked at the 11 inch and the 9 inch, and the answer to those coils was yes. So you can do your own test in the ground should you choose to do so. Sharpshooter don't do damn tricks with metal detectors. Okay, I got better things to do with my time. Okay. So this, I called it 007. You see it there. That is the sensitive program off of program number 2. Okay, now, here's program number 2 that follows the general program. Here's how I'm going to show the sensitive program, but I'm only going to show it one time on this nail and go ring, but you'll see where I'm going with this. You see the disc setting? Max band frequency 40, the speed is 2.5. The tones in this machine are at default. And the silencer is at 1, speed is 2.5, in both modes I'm going to show. But I'm only going to show this program right here one time. So here we go. You see that gold ring and you see that nail. So you're in the wild in a sports field detecting. Maybe that's laying 3 inches under the ground and you've got this old big coil here. You hear that iron tone. Every machine, single frequency, the Manicore, the Equinox, the Deus 1, F75s if you sweep like so, like that right there, you are SOL, even with this machine, 9/11-inch coil. So that means that situation could exist in a big sports field, and somebody has never done this. You hear that? I crossed it the other direction. So what you're going to see in this video is you may get intel using this big old coil and get some intel on telling you that that possibility exists. Hence, you would rotate on it, okay? So if I put this wire up there where that nail is, check it with a gold ring, and put that sterling silver ring in place of that gold ring, and all three of these ferrous pieces here laying in that configuration, this program right here will give iron tone. Take my word for it, okay? And you'll see why here in just a minute. Meaning you'll get to see the meter reading and the program that I have designed here. So that's where we're going now. There it is, okay? Now, it's going to have the same speed setting, 2.5. Audio response is at default. All right, so we're going in here. I've selected 5 tones. Now notice what I've done here. From 0 to 2.1 is its own bend with the highest pitch selected. You see that? The second bend is 2.2 over 212, which will capture most solo setting nails. And I did them audibly and on the meter for iron tone. Okay. The next bend I've zeroed out from 12 to 35. Now this is your, you get to make the choice here. That's where a lot of your smaller bits and pieces would fall. Foil. Less likely a gold ring would come in there, so I would be playing the odds there of running the machine like so. The next 2 bends are set up identical for tone pitch, 725 with a max volume of 10. So when you're in that sports field, you're interested in digging all high conductors, let's say, and all conductors that would be reading in the gold ring range, to include big gold rings, Mr. T's gold ring, okay? Now, some chains might be missed running that, zeroing out that one bend I showed. So that's going to be up to you how you want to run that if you decide to try this, okay? Now, I don't have any bottle caps selected. I guess I could select a little bit. All right. So there we go. You see their speed, 2.5. You hear that? That's a high tone. Remember, I set that first bend up as a high tone. See what that meter reads. See, when I see that number 2 in that meter, that instantly tells me that that sensitive FT program that I showed you before won't hit that. And I'll give one demonstration here real quick because it's still in the machine. There it is right there, boys. And that's silencer 1. You hear that? You're shit out of luck on that target right there, aren't you? Walking around out there in that sports field. And the old sharpshooter comes up behind you with a machine set up like so. And he sweeps over this. He hears that. He can glance at the meter. Oh, it's a 2. Now remember, I've got the other non-ferrous tone bend set a little lower. So I know, oh, that's highest tone. That's probably, let me rotate on this. You hear that mixed tone coming in there now? There's that other tone kicking in. You hear that? So that would suggest that's possibly a nail or something with a non-ferrous target in the vicinity. Hence, that's a target that could have been missed, and you don't know if it's a good find or not. All right? So I'm changing out the gold ring. There's the old sterling silver. Now, disclaimer here. If I let that nail down to same plane, this regular sensitive program silencer 1 will yield exactly the same performance that I just showed you on that gold ring. You'll be SOL. The sterling silver ring, I'm running the 007 program. I named it. Listen. As I rotate, you hear that. All right. So we're going to get rid of the nail. Section of wire. You see that? Look at there. All right. So I'm actually getting some signal on that. Let's switch it for the gold ring. You hear that? You see that? So that one right there is telling me, when I see that one locked up in there, that's telling me that traditionally running this machine, you're going to get iron tone. All right? Okay, let's switch it out to a longer piece. That's a longer piece of wire. You hear that? You see that one locked up in that meter? But yet we're getting high tone. Now if I rotate on this, hear that tone coming in there? Now you probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have your iron tips on. That's what I've got right now, okay? Now let's put this silver ring in there. Now, this silver ring shape right here sort of can play with a metal detector. You know, them eddy currents and all that shit running around, okay? So I'm actually getting some of both signal there. Now let's go back just to check, because I've not checked this right here. Let's go back to the traditional sensitive program with silencer 1. What do we get on this? So we can hear that. Okay, so it's not helping us on that, but it's sure helping us on that gold ring, ain't it? Okay. Let's put the gold ring back. We'll sweep again with the 007 program. So you hear that. We'll remove the gold ring. We'll sweep without the gold ring. You hear that? Straight iron tone. What about if we rotate on this? Straight iron tone. So you wouldn't be messing with that at all. Okay, the gold ring back in. Now that's not a very big gold ring, okay? Alright. Now, let's add another piece of wire just for shits and giggles and see what happens. How about that? I can still hear it. How about if we put the wire over here like so? I can still hear it. You see that? Now, let's transition back. To the sensitive program. You see what we've got? We're shit out of luck unless we get lucky and come across it from a direction sort of like that. Okay? Now that's running multi-frequency. Alright? Which is going to, you know, your idea is going to be better. Deus mono. 25 kilohertz, speed 2.5. Let's just see what this sounds like in Deus mono. With a silencer 1. Can we hear that ring? You see that? Now that's running it traditionally tone being set up. So you would never stop on that. I'm going to dial the disc up some because when you get high in the frequency on this machine, you can't run the 6 point. That's 40.4 kilohertz. See what happens? You would never stop on that. Mono program. Now I crossed it. All right. There's the 007 program. That's the program I've modified. Listen. There is some depth. When I checked this with the 9 and 11-inch coil, there is some depth that can be achieved on a setup like that in the wild, okay? Could you detect that at 6 inches perhaps with this coil in the wild? There's a high chance, okay? High chance. I've not checked this coil, full disclaimer, with in-ground buried targets like I did with the 9 and 11-inch coil. Okay? Now, you do this at your own risk. I'm not telling you how to run your machine. Just remember one thing. Good. When you rotate, if you hear it, you always have the option to rotate. If you rotate and you don't hear anything, well, you got to make your mind up if you still want to dig or not. Okay? And if you find this troublesome out in a sports field and you decide, I don't like this, Sharpshooter's program's not helping me, go back to regular programming. It's that simple. Okay? Now, just to let you know what you've got when you run this, to show you what this can do for your laws of averages. A manicore run traditionally on high conductors. If we put this sterling silver ring back in there and that nail, you can't get there from here with it. There is some manipulation you can do with it on low conductors. This machine, there's a way to run it where you can hit, coming down the barrel of wire and nails, you can hit both high and low conductors. Okay, so anybody that's running any machine besides a Deus 2 set up like I've got this set up, if they come over that nail and that sterling silver ring, if everybody gets their detector and runs it traditionally and comes like so, okay, like so, if they come across that nail with any other machine running it traditionally, they're going to get an iron tone. Now, some people may turn on iron tones in sports fields, and if you're running even a Deus 2 traditionally, that might not be such a stupid idea, okay? So that's it, boys. I just thought I would show this, and I wanted to verify with that call since I got it yesterday. I don't take anything for granted, you know. Just because a 9-inch call does it and the 11-inch, I want to look at it. And I figured that machine, people are buying that call for maybe larger areas of detected. Now, remember this. Dry sand, even on a salt beach up away from the salt. This could get you some results as well. You don't have to run the beach programs up there. Okay? So you could net yourself a gold ring up there that's hung up with some wire that somebody just, for whatever reason, it's never been attacked from the right angle. That's going to conclude the video. Have a nice day.